Hello and welcome to your top to toe Pilates, which is great. This one's a good one if you're on a lunch break to get you moving. There's going to be lots of upper body opening, hip opening. It's equally going to be a lovely mobility class for mornings when you first wake up. But yeah, grab a mat, get a little bit of space and let's get ready to go. If we haven't met before, my name is Emma. I am registered blind, still have some vision. My guide dog's just left, but he might come back, so he might join us. And I do try to audio describe everything in as much detail for blind and visually impaired people to easily follow along with too, or if you don't want to look at your screen too much. But yeah, let's get ready to go. Excuse the, I've had a cap on. As many of you know, I wear a cap a lot to see, and I'm pretty sure I've got hair and it's hot in here, so yeah, lots of sweat. But anyway, bring yourself down onto your back. And let's just start with a little bit of breathing. So let's have our knees bent, feet flat. I'm gonna roll the end of the mat up because I haven't got a block with me and I'm a little bit tight through my neck, so I'm gonna roll the end of the mat. But anyway, knees are gonna be bent, feet flat. Maybe one hand on your belly, one hand on your chest. Let the back of the head and the shoulders melt into the mat. And let's take a moment to take a lovely deep breath in through the nose, filling out the lower part of your rib cage. And as you exhale, can you gently draw your belly button away from your clothing? Feeling this lovely core contraction, switching on. As you breathe wide and full, start to maybe close down your eyes and tune in with how your body's feeling. Maybe notice the mat underneath you, supporting you. Maybe notice the sounds around you or even the temperature of the room as we start to come into the present moment. Good. When you're ready, let's stretch the arms up and above our chest, palms facing away from us. Let's draw our elbows down by our sides so our arms are in this lovely capital E shape. So from the elbow to the shoulder is all in line from on the mat, and from the elbow to the tips of the fingers, they're pointing up to the ceiling. From there, we're going to fold, rotating in our shoulder joint, fold the arms back until maybe the back of the hands, the back of the forearms touches the mat. So now you've got a right angle with each arm flat on the floor. And then you come back up, elbows are still bent in that right angle. Fingers point to the ceiling, but they keep going down, and see if you can rotate the shoulders in. So your hands now face down to the floor and your forearms. They might go all the way, they may not. And then roll the shoulders back and see if you can get those right angles. So your hands are, back of the hands are on the floor by the side of your ears and shoulders, or in line with them at least. And then fold the arms down so the palms go to the floor. Fingertips are pointing down towards your feet. And just keep rolling back and forth. I hope this makes sense for anyone that is not able to see the screen. We're just staying in the right angle and just basically like a pendulum, just rolling the arms back and forth. And then stay with the arms so that the shoulder to the elbow is still in line. The back of the hands are on the floor and the fingertips are pointing back behind you. So you've got this lovely capital E right angle. And just allow the legs to start to sway to the side. We're twisting from the waist. And then let the legs drop to the other side. So we're getting this lovely little rotation through the waist. We're maybe feeling the shoulders really opening out in the chest here as the arms are in this capital E. Getting out any clicks through the hips. As you just let your legs drop to the right, knees are still bent, and then let the legs drop to the left. Breathing in through the nose, and out through the mouth. Good, come back so your arms are still in the same position, but your legs are now, well, they're back to the start position. Feet are flat on the mat, but step your feet in so they're a little bit closer. Heels underneath your knees. Feet are about a fist distance apart. Keeping the arms in that right angle, can you flatten your back in towards the mat? Roll the hips in towards you and deepen that contraction through the abdominals. Really opening out through the arms or the chest. And then roll the hips back so your spine is in a natural curve. Flatten the back again, roll the hips in towards you, and maybe this time lift the tailbone up just a little bit. And then roll down. If the arms start to feel uncomfortable for any reason, you can always have them by your side or stretch them out long. See each time if you can curl up a little bit more. So rolling up to maybe the rib cage. So the rib cage is on the mat, hips are lifting a little higher. And then really think about rolling down through the spine, bone by bone, to that natural curve. So again, we flatten our back, we tilt the hips in, we peel like a sticker from the lower back to the middle back. Maybe this time we push the hips all the way up, so we've got a ramp going from our knees to our shoulders. Hips are lifted and we're squeezing the glutes. Weight is on the shoulders, not the neck, and then we roll down bone by bone from the upper back to the middle back. You're rippling down to the lower back, feeling the chest, the arms opening in that capital E, and back to natural curve. Let's go again one more time. Rolling the hips in, maybe eyes are closed, feeling each part of the spine peeling up into our bridge. And then slowly roll down bone by bone. Once you're all the way down, give your knees a big hug all the way into your chest. And just allow your legs to rock from side to side, back and forth, giving your back a lovely little massage. Maybe circling the legs away from one another, towards one another, like butterfly wings, opening and closing. Good, squeeze the legs together, keep your right leg hugged in tight to your chest. Send the left leg all the way down to the floor, let it relax. This right leg that you've got hugged in, take it into your left hand and draw it across the body without the back of your pelvis leaving the mat. So you're trying to wrap the leg across, feeling the outer side of the hip and the glute stretching. And you're gonna let your right arm open out to the side, palm facing up. And just tune into, maybe the arm is now off of your mat and there's maybe a different surface. So maybe you're feeling carpet or wood floor, different texture, different temperature. And as you do that, you're trying to pull the leg across the body, opening out through the hip. Good, bring that leg back to center. Take both hands around the back of the thigh and see if you can straighten that leg up to the ceiling, still your right leg. If you need to, you may want to bend the knee of the left leg so your foot is flat on the mat. And just give me 5 circles of the ankle in each direction. Feeling this lovely length through the back of the leg, maybe some clicks out of the ankle. Good, and then hug that knee all the way into the chest, send it down to the floor, hug your other leg into the chest, and let's do the same on the other side. So give it a big squeeze into your chest. Left leg is now in, it's going to wrap over into the right hand. You're trying to cross that leg over to the right without the rest of the body rolling. And let your left arm open out to the side. Again, just start to tune in with different temperature or texture of the floor. Bring the leg back to center. Take the hand behind the back of the leg, keeping the other leg bent or straight, it's up to you, as we straighten this left leg up to the ceiling, feeding our hamstrings. Let's go 5 circles in each direction. My leg is super tight today. And back the other way. And then hug that knee into the chest. Come into a full body stretch. Reaching from your fingers all the way down to your toes. Maybe circling the ankles again and the wrists this time as well. Good, from there roll all the way over onto your front. And we're going to come up first into a nice little sphinx. So your elbows are underneath your shoulders. If you're anything like me and your chest is tight, you're gonna feel this. But you are, that's probably a good idea, flicking my plait to the back so it doesn't hit the microphone. We're gonna be on our stomach, legs are long behind us. We're slightly pushing the tops of the feet into the floor. Elbows underneath our shoulders, and we're trying to pull our elbows in towards us as we lift the chest. I want you to think about the the collarbone is smiling, so it's really opening out. If you're feeling pinching through the lower back, just bring yourself down a little lower. Otherwise, start to press through the arms, straighten through the elbows and come up a little higher into your cobra. Good. Come back down onto the forearms, and this time take the arms a little bit wider out to the side, pushing the hands away, and maybe even coming up onto the fingertips, or if you need the hands flat, that's okay. So the arms are quite a lot wider than the mat, and they're just in front of your chest, just ever so slightly. I'm completely sliding on this wood floor from the sweat, that's lovely. From there, you're going to swivel in, drop your right shoulder to the middle of the mat, and imagine listening to the floor with your right ear. The other arm is still hovered off of the floor. Come back up, and let's go to the other side. The left shoulder drops in towards the middle of the mat. You listen to the floor with the left ear. We lift back up one more time each side. We drop the right shoulder, swivel it inwards to touch the middle of the mat. Listen to the floor with the right ear. Come back up and go to the other side. Drop the left shoulder into the middle of the mat. Listen to the floor with that left shoulder. And come back up. Take the hands underneath the chest. Press yourself up into a box. Hands underneath the shoulders, knees underneath your hips. Actually, hands are underneath the shoulders, spread wide. If you need to be on your back, hugging your knees to the chest instead, that's okay. And we're gonna bring your big toes together and open the knees to the width of the mat, or wherever feels best. Let's actually step the hands a little further in front and just shift the weight back and forth. So we sit back towards the heels, and then we shift the weight back towards the hands. Back and forth, just really opening out through the hips, maybe getting a little stretch through the wrists. And try to keep a flat back so we're not sinking into our back. And then maybe go in a big circle, so shift the weight around to the side of the mat, sit back towards the hips, round to the other side and back and cross. And maybe back the other way, but just really, it's so nice to get a nice opening through the hips. Good. And then come back up onto your hands and knees. If this is not possible, you can do the same stretches we did on our back for the hips and just repeat that again. Otherwise, hands underneath the shoulders, knees underneath your hips, and you're stepping your, am I going to hit the microphone here? You're stepping your right foot in between the hands. So the foot is planted into the floor, ankle is underneath the knee. Send the other leg, the left leg that's long behind you or behind you, a little longer, opening out those hips. And just rest here for a moment, feeling that nice deep stretch through those hips. And then bring both hands to the inside of that right foot and step the right foot out a little bit more. Knee is still pointing upwards. And just see if you can lower down a little bit more to the mat, just deepening that stretch a little bit more through those hips. Some of you will be able to come down onto your forearms. Some of you maybe just bending the elbows slightly. Some of you may be flat on the mat. Good. From there, walk in, switch to the other leg. Let's bring the other leg in between the hands. Lengthen the other leg nice and long behind you. And just really try to tuck the tailbone under so you're not sinking into your back as you push the weight forwards into the hip. Shuffle that left foot out to the side so both hands can go to the inside of that left leg, and see if you can lower down a little bit more, maybe even to your forearms, so that you can open out through those hips a little bit more. Taking one more deep breath in. And breathing out. Good. Step all the way back. You can be on your sit bones for this. You can be standing, whatever feels best, but just sit yourself back onto your heels or standing. Interlace the hands behind your back. Pull the arms down and back. Lift the chest slightly and feel this opening going through the front of the chest. Good. Release the arms. Give the shoulders a nice little roll. I'm going to swivel to face you. And maybe you just circle the neck a little bit. Just see if you can get any clicks out of the neck. Roll the shoulders, whatever feels best. I've got a really creaky neck today. And then just lift nice and tall. Take a deep breath in. And breathe out. Letting yourself just settle back into that stillness. Deep breath in. And breathe out. And you're done. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you feel a little bit more stretched out, especially through the upper body, the hips, and ready for the rest of your day. If you enjoyed it, please do give this video a thumbs up or subscribe if you haven't already. And I will leave some breathing on screen for you to do before you leave the mat. And yeah, I'll see you next week for another one. Take care. Bye.